What's up, world? Welcome to RealityBytesTV, where real faith meets real life, where you can be encouraged and inspired in bite-sized chunks. Let's get into it. So we talked a little while ago, last week. I took a poll to ask about some things that you wanted to hear about that you hadn't heard talked about, or places where you thought that the church and faith was missing the gap. Because what? RealityBytesTV is here to make real faith meet real life. That's our goal, that's our aim, that's our mission. So here it is. One of the things that was brought up was mental health. So today I want to talk about mental health and faith. Mental health and faith. Here's the thing. I don't think I know for a fact that church and faith has the answer for mental health, has comfort for mental health, has some peace where mental health is concerned, but more often than not, they don't speak to the issues of mental health. And so what happens is those who are experiencing mental illness, those who have different things they may be dealing with, whether it's bipolar, whether it's depression, suicidal thoughts, wherever you or I fall on the gamut, it never gets talked about. It never gets addressed. So from the pulpit on a Sunday morning, or from face-to-face conversations with faith-filled people or Christians, you'll find out that more often than not, you will be a victim of spiritual bypass. You may say, what the heck is spiritual bypass? Spiritual bypass is this: when we use a spiritual antidote or some kind of spiritual method to pretty much brush aside and neglect and put away a real psychological issue, a real emotional hurt, some emotional trauma or wound, where we placate and put a Band-Aid on it to make it seem like it's just that simple to get rid of. Now here's the thing. I'm a huge proponent of faith. I'm a Christ follower. I'm a huge proponent of believing in the Lord to fix and heal something. I'm a huge proponent in prayer. But here's the issue where faith meets mental illness, is that when we talk about mental illness, for one, we don't talk about it. Let me rewind a little bit. Here's some stats for you that you may find interesting. 23% of pastors have struggled with mental illness, but I haven't told anybody. Better yet, 49% of pastors have said they don't talk about it very often or not at all from their pulpit. So here's what I'm finding in those stats, that 23% of the pastors have a feeling of having to be perfect or put on an air or not feel comfortable being transparent, so they struggle in silence. And then 49% of those same pastors will say, I'm not going to say anything from the pulpit because it may put my business on Front Street. And then you end up leaving the people who are experiencing what you experienced, what you could help with, in the dark because we're not saying anything. So here it is. So with spiritual bypass is, I'm left feeling that I need to be perfect. I'm left feeling that I don't have room to express my flaw, my depression, my anxiety, my stress. And here's the thing, more people in our pulpits, more people in our pews, more people in our churches are stressed and depressed and anxious than we would believe. And here's the thing, we're walking around with the answer, with the help, with comfort for what they're feeling, to be able to walk with them through their trial, walk with them through what they're dealing with, walk with them through therapy, walk with them through counseling, whatever it is, but we're not doing it because we don't want people to think that we are messed up. But clue in on this, we are messed up. And we need to admit that. And when we admit that, then we can start looking at everybody else and seeing them through the eyes just like Jesus, with compassion, with help, with hope, with healing. Listen, that's what we need to be about. And I'm not going to even get into the suicide part of it, because that's another discussion we'll have with part 2 of the mental health and faith that we talk about on Friday. But I want you guys just to begin thinking about how it is that you and I can begin removing the stigma that is surrounding mental health and really begin to partner with what God is doing and making some difference and making some change and working and cooperating with God, cooperating to let these folk know you're not crazy, you're not an outcast, you're not slower, you're not worse off than, that you are loved, that we can work with this together. I'll walk with you, I see you, and I got you. But first, to do that, we have to admit that we have our own issues that we're dealing with. We have our own mental illness that we're dealing with. Some of us watching this are depressed, have struggled with depression, have been in those places, but have not said anything because we don't want to mess up the perfect persona that we put on. Listen, you and I are wounded healers. So let's get to the business of being wounded and healing those who are wounded just like we are. Check us out next time on Reality Bites TV. Oh, before I forget, do me a quick favor. Like, share, subscribe, and comment down below with what you're feeling, what this is triggering in you, how we can work together to get some of this fixed. And subscribe and share and like with everybody in your social media network. Let them know what's going on here at Reality Bites TV. And we'll catch you next time on Reality Bites TV, where real faith meets real life. I love you guys so much. Check you out on Friday. Peace.